I'm going to attempt to explain Revelations 18:23. For by her sorceries were the nations deceived. This sorcery is the legal language that we know today of statutes and codes. It has nothing to do with the Constitution. It's the law of commerce. It is the international banking law, the Admiralty law. When America became bankrupt in right after the Civil War, America became a corporation owned by international bankers, and they have slowly but surely gained a foothold in this country. And they use their legal language to enslave and imprison us because we're bankrupted. We don't know the truth. Bankrupted people are easily manipulated and lied to and deceived. So so that's why Jesus said in Luke, he said, Luke 11:52, woe unto you, lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. You entered not in yourselves, and them that were entering in you hindered. So one of the evidence that I have to confirm this is if you look in the Black's Law Dictionary and look up the word person, it means a human being or a corporation. Now, it could mean either one, but if you really get into the definition of human being, according to legal language, you will see that it really means monster. One who is not capable of owning anything. But in the English language, we would think that means any person, any human being, and even person, according to Webster's, came from the Latin word persona, which means literally a face mask worn by an actor on stage. So, and I believe that this sorcery is the divination that was used by the king of Babylon in Ezekiel 21:21 when he was trying to figure out what he was going to do. I think he was trying to figure out if he could legally somehow conjure up a legality of making a decision in that matter. And I don't know what the exact decision was. I haven't studied that yet, which I will, but I believe that's what that was. So that's what I believe the sorcery is the legal language. It's the law of commerce. It's kind of like if you try to sell something to someone and you don't tell them the whole truth about the item that you're selling them. I believe that would be sorcery. And that's exactly what the bankers need to do, is they need to trick us, because nobody in their right mind is going to sign up for this program of the Social Security card, voluntarily giving up your rights and consenting to their program of fiat currency. So this is what Edward Mandell House said. He said, very soon every American will be required to register their biological property, that's their children. That's Ezekiel 23:37. In a national system designed to keep track of the people that will operate under the ancient system of pledging. By such methodology, we can compel the people to submit to our agenda, which will affect our security as a chargeback for our fiat paper currency. So this birth certificate created an image, and I believe it is the image of the beast. And whenever you sign to it on your Social Security card, driver's license, you are consenting You are voluntarily giving up your rights, and there's no law that says you have to. And I will explain that one here in a second. And it says they will be stripped of their rights and given a commercial value. That means that when you sign to the Social Security card, you are now worth money because you're going to generate income through the federal income tax all of your life, which will give value to their fiat currency. And then the quote from Edward Mandell House goes on to say, for not one man in a million could ever figure our plans, and if by accident one or two should figure it out, we have in our arsenal plausible deniability. That's how evil and wicked and deceptive this legal language is. If you watch my other videos, you will probably start to see the whole picture clear as to this legal language. So what I've been doing is interacting with Garden City, trying to find the truth, and they have in their arsenal plausible deniability. After all, this is the only logical way to fund government. Okay, and then he goes on, without realizing it, every American will unknowingly be our servant. However, the people will become helpless and without any hope of their redemption. And read Isaiah 48:20. Hath God not redeemed? Say God hath redeemed his servant Jacob. Okay, so the sorcery. This is the sorcery that they use. Okay, birth certificate law. If you look in the Colorado Revised Statute 25-112, it says a certificate of birth for each live birth which occurs in this state shall be filed with the state registrar or as otherwise directed by the state registrar within 10 days. Okay, now this is sorcery because it says a certificate of birth must be filed with the state registrar. It does not say that you have to fill it out. It doesn't say that you have to consent to it. It just simply says a certificate of birth for every live birth must be filed with the state registrar. This is how they trick you into their system. Because that's why it's called the beast. Because that's one reason why I believe it's called the beast, is because sheep and cows, they roam in herds. If they see one cow do something, the group of cows, they'll just follow their lead. They'll just do whatever the herd is doing, and every American is partaking in this program of social insurance, which Edward Mandell House says this will inevitably reap us huge profits beyond our wildest expectations and leave every American a contributor to this fraud, which we will call social insurance or Social Security. Without realizing it, every American will be unknowingly be our servant. And that's why the Bible says in Jeremiah 2:14, is Israel a homeborn slave? Was he born a servant? And that's why the Bible says in Revelations 18:13, in her was traded slaves and souls of men, because our birth certificate is a bond and it's worth money because we generate income through our federal income tax. So this is the sorcery of Babylon, and that's what I believe is the sorcery of Babylon, the banks and the corporations. It's the law of commerce, where the truth isn't the details of the contracts, which are the Social Security card, the birth certificate. The details were never disclosed because, of course, people would think twice if they said, okay, now if they told you the truth and they said, okay, we'd like for you to sign to this capital letter name, you're going to give value to our fiat paper currency, and we're going to control the nation, and we're going to cause all of your military men to fight for our agenda across seas and enslave all these nations. See, they don't want to tell you the truth, so they have to hide it. And that's what I believe is the sorcery.